If you haven't already subscribed, take a moment to go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment and say hi. Now, here's the thing that's going on today. Now, let's start with a little bit of good news. So far, it seems like as of today, as of right now, when I'm recording this, Hurricane Milton has went down from a category 5 to a category 4. Hopefully, before it makes landfall, it will go down to a 3. At least if it's 3, there's a lot higher chance of survivability and less likelihood of damage to where the place won't like got hit by a nuclear bomb, and repairs and livelihoods to get back to normal relatively faster compared to a 4 or a 5, especially a 5 at how it was. It was like a nuclear bomb that just hit the area. Now, to have an example of how bad the damage is there, well, not even say damage, how strong the hurricane is there, the U.S. NOAA went and flew into the storm, and let's take a look at this right now. Sorry about that. I meant to pause that earlier. Now, you got to be a little bit crazy to be willing to go ahead and fly into storms for a living. I'm kind of curious how much they get paid to do something like this, because at the time when they flew into, I think it was a category 5. Now, talk about being brave. It's so casually. I was like, hey, yeah, can you grab my phone right quick? It was casual, like, you know, it's just another day. Even though they're literally flying into the eye of the storm. That's just some craziness. That's some next level guts right there. Not gonna lie, for me personally, I'll be a little nervous. That doesn't look like the most sturdy of planes, and it's just flying into there. They have so much faith in their equipment. It's just amazing. That's why I honestly think you gotta be a little bit crazy to do a job like this.
Too. Gotta keep these pockets zipped. On one hand, that's a very beautiful sight. On the other hand, that's pretty terrifying too, because if you go too far up, I'm not sure how the pressurization of the plane goes. So I'm not sure how high up it can go. But if you go down, you're back into the middle of that storm again, and it just it's like something worse than a movie. Like, I haven't seen a movie be able to duplicate something that's that naturally scary. But anyways, but that is good news there though, that it went down to a category 4. So I just hope that it continues to go down and somehow it just gets down to a medium 3. You know, a medium 3, and hopefully this keeps going down. That's my hope for the people in the area. Now, I will say this, that I am kind of really annoyed about. I didn't get the clip on here. I did see a video of Kamala planting a pomegranate tree for stuff that happened in, I think she said Hamas in October 7th and 2023. That doesn't matter right now. What does matter is having resources for people in Florida, getting out that location. And no matter how you feel about the subject, I think it should be one of these situations that whatever aid we're sending over there, we should just go ahead and stop it immediately and bring it back home to make sure the people have what they need in abundance. For example, I just personally think that there's a way that they could have used the military to get the people who are in low income areas, people who are the straight poor or just can't afford to go ahead and evacuate, send them helicopters and buses and things of that nature to pick them up and transport them to another location, to a military base or something, because our military at the end of the day is not just a defense force, it's to help the people too. So instead of us sending our resources to countries that don't serve us, why not use our military to actually serve the people that's going to lose their livelihood and everything they work for relatively soon if the storm don't keep going down. Again, the storm did creep up to a 5 really fast. Hopefully it will go back and keep going down and stay down this downward path. I'm hoping when it makes landfall for at least a realistic thing in my head, that when it makes landfall, it make a landfall at a 3, a medium 3, not a high 4 that is right now. It went down from a 5, so that's really great news there. But that pomegranate tree, and that pomegranate is not meant for DC, so that thing is going to die. So I don't think that was the best tree to do for the remembrance of that particular occasion. But again, that focus shouldn't have even been there. It should have been straight up for Americans and what's going on with us right now, especially for Floridians. They need help. They can use all those resources that we can possibly get. And it's crazy how even in North Carolina, they need resources a lot right now too. It's this everywhere across the country is either on fire, flooded, or about to get hit by a hurricane, and we just don't have enough resources to keep sending out to other places. But again, I just want to focus on the good news right now. The storm went down from a category 5 to a category 4, so I'm very grateful for that, because again, if you've been through hurricanes, if you're a Floridian, you know what it's like to sit there through a storm. Yes, they can be pretty fun and entertaining when it's like a 2 or lower. When you start getting into 3s and above, that's when you start worrying. At least with a 3, the damage won't be as horrible compared to a 4 or a 5. Now the mayor has been very blunt on her stances on this. She's like, you need to go ahead and get out of here, and I'll give my comments on what I think about this in a minute.
Everyone in the Tampa Bay region needs to stay aware of what's happening with Hurricane Milton, and you need to follow the evacuation orders. We haven't been hit directly by a major hurricane in over 100 years. If Milton stays on the designated path, it will be catastrophic for our area.
Will it be like anything that Tampa has ever seen?
It will not be, because I'm 64 years old, and Helene was the worst that I've seen in my 64 years. That was mostly a water issue. With Milton, we're going to have twice the storm surge, up to 12 feet of water, and the wind on top of that.
For people who are saying they're not going to evacuate, what is your message?
Yeah, that, honestly, you can't deal with stupid. Everyone in the...
Now, that part was a little hard, saying you can't deal with stupid. Not everybody has the means to go ahead and evacuate. I made a video a couple days ago where I said that, hey, if you're in that hurricane area and it was projected to be a category 5, whatever bills you have planned on paying, don't pay them. If you already pay them, try to find a way to dispute it to get your money back so you get you and your family out of there, because I understand how hard it is. And let's say if you're not paying the bills, you're living off government assistance, then that goes back to what I was saying before, that the resources being sent out overseas is not serving us, should be serving us here, and using military helicopters and buses to get the people out of there, to make sure they just won't have hundreds of lives lost to the storm. Because I think Helene is already at a count of 200 people, and that's crazy right now for a natural disaster. It's not a terrorist attack, it's a natural disaster. So it's just, I'm very passionate about this issue. about Americans making sure we're taking care of ourselves. And we're not doing that right now. Our administration is not doing that right now. And we have a need, and this need right now is going to greatly impact the election, especially after the math. Because what's today? Today's the 8th. The storm should hit the 9th. So you'll see how people are going to switch their voting probably by the 11th for sure. But the mayor, she was just pretty blunt, and she's been very blunt, and I can appreciate somebody that's very blunt. Now, like I said again, not everybody has the money or the means to go ahead and leave. I understand she's just like, look, I don't have time to be nice. I don't have time to be political. If you're staying, you're stupid. I get that, but that goes back into what I was saying before: resources. We spend all this money into the military. Let the military help and serve us, the people that's not in a war for once. Let them do some good in the community itself. Because more than likely, a lot of those people in the military, you know somebody, because that's a certain area, that area all over there, all kinds of military bases, personnel, they probably have family, friends, or people they just know and generally met and came across at one point in time. Now, she went on CNN. She was very blunt and direct on there too.
This Helene was a wake-up call. This is literally catastrophic, and I can say
I would say Helene was more of a warning, not necessarily a wake-up call.
Any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Wow. I mean,
now, how often do you hear somebody that's in politics that say, hey, if you're staying, you're going to be gone. It's over with for you. That's a big warning right there. If I'm sitting here in my town and my elected officials say, hey, if you're staying, you're going to lose your life, and they're not playing politics for once, they're just straight up being honest, like, hey, if you stay, you're losing your life, and it's not on me. I'm gone. I don't know what I gotta do to be gone. I'm gonna be gone. Because whenever they stop playing politics for once, that's when you know it's definitely serious.
That is an incredibly blunt message, and I know you have a lot of experience dealing with these storms. You don't say something like that lightly, Mayor.
I've never said that. And 10 to 12 foot surge, I mean, if this takes a jog to the south, that's going to save us from the storm surge. But it stays on the track that it's projected to be on right now, or if it goes a bit north, would be even worse. Some of the predictions are saying that Pinellas County, to the south of us, the entire county is going to be underwater. So this is something that I have never seen in my life, and I can tell you that anyone who was born and raised in the Tampa Bay area has never seen anything like this before. People need to get out.
And your message is just, this isn't survivable.
If we have that predicted storm surge, it is not survivable.
Again, when they stop playing politics, that's when it's time to run. And I'll say it one more time. When they stop playing politics, that's when it's time to run. She just straight up telling people, you're not going to survive if you stay. And that's going to add a lot of panic to people that have to stay there because they don't have the resources to leave. That is terrifying to think about. And you would just think, like, hey, if you're not able to get out of here, the military is going to send, like, I don't know, 100 helicopters to get and land in these areas, get your essentials, and just go ahead and get on this copter and go, or bus, or whatever they have to get over there. But they haven't done that. That's the craziest thing. We can go gung-ho and rescue and save people all over the world, but we can't do it here. It doesn't make any sense. And what's even more disgusting is when you have little pieces of crap like Adin Ross that try to take advantage of stuff like this. And let me show you what I'm talking about.
Let's do this. If you get seriously injured or hurt, $75K. And to go into stream it for how long is the hurricane? Like 1 or 2 days? I'll give you 30 racks.
Like what? Now, I understand if for some reason you're not able to leave, you might as well try to make the best out of a horrible situation, a deathly situation. But most of the people that he talks to are younger people, right? So they're going to sit here and try to do that to get the clout. Because apparently Adin Ross is very popular on, I think, Kick. That's his platform, right? So, and he's giving really lucrative deals and changing people's lives. But in this particular situation, it was wrong. Now, there was another video out of him asking more questions about the storm and him kind of panicking because his dad is down there. And he was like, well, when is the storm going to hit? Tomorrow. I need to go ahead and get my dad out. He's tripping. But here's the thing about that, though. He has the money and luxury to do that. He could fly a private plane down there to get his dad in and out, while he's taking advantage of some young person that's going to sit there and probably try to lose their lives for an opportunity. That's a very disgusting thing that I've ever seen. If anything, I would think he would use his platform to tell people to get out. Now, to be fair, in that same video that I was mentioning about his father, and the main reason I didn't put that on here, it was just too much cursing. I didn't want to spend any time bleeping it out. I'm a one-man show. So any video I edit with the bleeps is me doing it. I didn't want to do it with him. I don't like him that much. What he had to say was not that important. But whenever he found out his dad was in the Tampa area and how bad the storm was going to be, he was like, he started panicking a little bit and needed to get his dad out there. However, the offer is still there. I see he hasn't put out a statement saying he took it back. If you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and play it again right quick. Give me a second.
Let's do this. If you get seriously injured or hurt, $75K. And to go in to stream it for how long is the hurricane? Like 1 or 2 days? I'll give you 30 racks.
You know, and these streamers, these in real life streamers are some of the most disgusting people I've seen before in my whole entire life. Because if you really think about it for just 1 second, you have Jack Doherty, who had a security guard punch somebody out. Then the guy into a wreck of his car. I saw somebody got into a wreck of his car. Like almost lost his got his friend almost taken out of this world, and himself the other because he just won't let somebody pass him. Now you have Adin Ross throwing his money around to people. I mean, $30K to $75K for insurance or $70K for insurance is relatively really small and cheap when you're talking about your life. You're not going to be able to rebuild your house, buy a new car for $30K. Well, you can buy a new car for $30K. I take that back. But you won't be able to rebuild your house. And any damages that you have is most likely going to replace that. So I don't understand their value of life. It's just ridiculous and pathetic at this point. And you can see how you make the wrong people rich and famous sometimes. They throw it around, and it's kind of like the Hunger Games in a way. Anyways, I still want to end on a good note. This is a Category 4 hurricane. Let's keep our thoughts out there. Let's hope it goes down to a Category 3 when it makes landfall. I don't see it going down to a 2. That's very unrealistic. But best case scenario I can see, it will continue to go down to a 3, a medium 3. The survivability rate for the people that have to stay there will be a lot higher if it's that level. And for anybody else, any of these disgusting streamers that are sitting here trying to do like Adin Ross and offering people money to sacrifice their lives to go ahead and get in real life streaming of a hurricane, well, you know where you can go. You can tell how somebody never really been through a hardship or never been through a hurricane or a natural disaster when they do stuff like that. Or you don't see how people don't value lives when you have people like Jack Doherty sitting here in this reckless driving their vehicles. Anyways, if you have watched me this long or tuned in just now, I appreciate you. Please subscribe, leave a comment eventually, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you. Keep Florida in your thoughts.